Hello everyone, my name is RizYudhaTama and I'm from Universitas Dian Nusantara. The title of my research is Profit in the Era of Sustainability, the Influence of Green Accounting, ESG, and Capital Intensity on the Financial Performance of Green Energy in Indonesia, 2019 to 2023. Now, this title might sound heavy, but the essence is pretty simple. We're asking a crucial question, like, in today's sustainability-driven era, can energy companies still be profitable while meeting environmental and social expectations? And as you'll see, the answers are both surprising and meaningful. Let's dive into it. Let's start with the background. Sustainability is no longer optional. It's not at the center of global business practice. Every single company in the world is trying to implement this. So companies are expected not only to generate profit, but also to be accountable for the environmental and social impacts. In Indonesia, there's many laws and regulations such as QGK 51 2017, 16 2021, and proper program, many other regulations. However, reality tells us that implementation is not even, especially in the energy sector. If you look at the profitability between 2019 and 2023, it fluctuates a lot. For example, PTBA, outstanding return of assets of 27%. Meanwhile, ANRG's return on assets stagnated to 6%. So this variation raises a big question. The green accounting, ESG exposure, and capital intensity actually explain these differences in profitability. So there are some prior research before this that gave inconsistent results. Some research found a positive effects, others found none, or even negative effects. So that's why there are this research gap, exactly why what my study aims to address. The objective was to examine whether green accounting, net disclosure, and capital intensity influence the financial performance of Indonesian energy companies, with profitability measured using the ROA, green accounting measured proper ESG disclosure, which is using a disclosure index, capital intensity measured using the ratio of fixed assets to sales. For the methodology, I applied quantitative approach using a partially squares structural equation modeling through WARPLS 8.0. The sample consisted of 10 energy companies that were consistently listed on the IDX. Of course, it's included in the proper rating. So in total, there are 59 firm-year observations over the 5-year period in 2019 to 2023. This is the conceptual framework. GAESCCI is the independent variable affects the ROA, which is the dependent variable. Now, here's the result. I'll explain it in a bit. Key findings. GA, no significant impact on profitability. ESG disclosure, negative and significant impact on profitability. Capital intensity also have a negative and significant impact on profitability. The model R squared was 0.13, which is modest, but the goodness of fit was 0.361, which is considered acceptable. So these results may look counterintuitive at first, but they tell us a very important story. So which I'll discuss right now. Interpretation. Let's interpret this finding. First, the green accounting. Why no impact? Because proper ratings generate intangible benefits, legitimacy, reputation, social approval. These are long-term expenditures that doesn't immediately translate into higher profits. Companies may invest in like cleaner technology, all this, but the financial payoff comes later. Second, ESG disclosure. Why negative? So ESG is designed to build and attract investors, but in the short run, reporting ESG comes with a heavy cost, like preparing sustainable reports, auditing ESG metrics, aligning with global standards. All of these efforts requires resources. So for Indonesian energy firms, these costs may outweigh the immediate financial gains. They're too expensive. Third, capital density. Capital-heavy industries carry high depreciation and maintenance costs. If the assets are not optimally used, they drag down profitability instead of boosting it. So in short, buying more machines doesn't guarantee efficiency. It can actually reduce the profitability if not managed properly. So the big picture is that sustainability and structural investments are critical for long-term competitiveness, but they can create a short-term financial pressure. implications. There are three major implications for this. First, for the managers, they need to rethink sustainability, not just as a compliance checklist, but as part of a broader strategy to enhance efficiency and innovation. Fixed assets should be managed more productively, and ESG should be linked to operational improvements rather than just reporting. Second, for investors, be cautious. Just because a company discloses their ESG information doesn't mean it will have a higher profit in the short term. So investors must distinguish between long-term potential and short-term financial outcomes. And last, for the policymakers, regulations like rubber and ESG are important, but they must be complemented by supporting incentives. And that's all for the presentation. And thank you.